farming should not be a consequence of your beliefs. It should be a consequence of the undoing of your beliefs, mostly. Because generally speaking, most people's beliefs don't come from the land. I mean, we're not living in such a time. Most of us in the Western world are not living in a time where most of our convictions are land-based convictions. Even our convictions about the land don't really come from time in with the land. They come from a distance from the land and a desire to close the distance. Yeah. Which of course is our idea. It's not so clear that it's the land's idea though. So when we're farming at home, which I've been doing for almost 5 years now, so that's a good beginning in farming. One of the things we do routinely is remind each other to not preoccupy ourselves with the busyness that farming can easily generate in you. You can literally go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing all day long, all night long, all week long, and there's no weeks, there's no months, there's no years. There's no holidays or holy days or anything in between. And so we routinely stop and lean on the fence. We have to assume this certain position, right? You can't just do it. You have to pantomime a rest. And then we proceed to what we call Watch the Farm channel. It's a modern allegory. But the notion, of course, is that farming is not mostly doing. Farming is mostly watching the consequences of what you already did, what you've already done. Not just you personally, but everything that happened to that land before you happened to that land. And depending on where you're trying to do the work, this can be some very grim things indeed that preceded you there. My own farm was a drug addict when I met it. Absolutely a drug addict. We just had the shakes. Terrible quality of soil, and was obliged year after year to artificially produce a chemically derived stuff. And so the first thing I had to do was give the land some kind of absolution from no further obligation to be productive ever again. Never mind that year, never again will I oblige you to produce in that way or in any way that could remind you of that. And I think, and the other thing we did, literally in the first week we were there, I think, is we decided where the four corners of the farm were, which was kind of arbitrary because it's a funny shape. But we designated four corners to be the stand-in for the four corners on the compass, which is a geomantic, do you know this word? Geomancy? Somebody can translate into Swedish?
Geomancy.
It's the same word. I thought it would be. Sure.
Still don't know.
Yeah, we'll leave that as a slight mystery for the proceedings. Yeah? Okay, good. That's what it is. We went to the four corners and we made vows, which is a much different word than promise. Promise is what you're going to do in the future. Vow is what you're doing now by virtue of saying it. You're incarnating your declaration. So we went to the four places and we left extremely precious things to us personally, but also in the marketplace this way, under those four places. So someday somebody will find them and think, whoa, this lazy farmers, just stuff fell out of their pocket and they didn't go looking for it. No, it's there deliberately. We did that, the four corners, and made the vows about how we intended to proceed. And the other thing we did was designate a corner of the farm that we would never go to, and in 25 years, we never have. So I have no idea what's going on there. None. I still allegedly own the place, but that's a corridor of a little piece of the wilderness reverted to itself with no intrusion, no landscaping, nothing, no presence, no nothing, no apologies, no nothing. Just stay away so they don't have to smell you, so they can feel that maybe this is one way to get to the river in the way that they used to, because that's the corridor from the mountain to the river. So some place of the thing I'm responsible for remains mysterious to me. I don't know everything that's got my name on it. And I know less and less the longer I'm there. And that's a good recommendation. To be overwhelmed in terms of your initial intentions, and to begin to receive instruction from a place that you have to learn its language before you learn what it says. It's very hard to do that when you hear your own language running and running and running, and your own vows and your own fears and your own efforts to try to overcome the city in you and all that sort of thing.